In a stunning turn, an Indian student at the University of Wisconsin-Madison has halted the Trump administration's visa crackdown, at least for now. The 21-year-old Krish Isserdasani, weeks away from earning his engineering degree, suddenly found his student visa revoked without warning, without due process. His SEVIS record gone, his future thrown into chaos. But on 15th of April, federal Judge William Conley said enough. He blocked Homeland Security from cancelling Krish's visa, calling the government's actions legally shaky and potentially unjust. These students did nothing wrong, said the attorney Shabnam Lotfi. They followed every rule. This is political, not lawful. This case isn't isolated. There are now 29 states across the U.S. where international students are quietly losing their legal status, some over minor incidents, others without explanation at all. Now, there are 4,000 international students who are being subjected to visa revocations across the U.S. Krish's alleged offense, well, it was a scuffle after leaving a bar. No charges filed, though, no conviction. Yet, he was nearly deported. Now, with the new hearing that is set for April 28th, this fight is far from over. But now, one student's stand may be the start of a nationwide reckoning, or at least it may be so, which is why the big questions that we are asking today on the U.S. Visa revocations are that much more important. First up, does this court ruling mark the beginning of resistance to Trump visa revocations? That's the first question that we are asking. Next up, why are students' visa records being deleted from SEVIS without notice? Next up, what message does visa crackdown send to international students? Because at the end of the day, US wants to attract global talent. Is this how global talent will be acquired and attracted? Sudhanshu Kaushik, who is the Executive Director of North American Association of Indian Students, joins me to talk more on this. Sudhanshu, it seems that every time we talk, we are only talking about more bad news coming in. But before we talk about those, I want to address the specific case of the student from University of Wisconsin-Madison who seems to have one reprieve, at least for now. What's the message from that ruling to all the students who are rattled?
Gaurie, I mean, you're right. It's a reprieve, but the operative words are for now. As we've seen in previous situations related and unrelated to F1 students, but when judges have ruled on, let's say, bringing back U.S. citizens back home, the Trump administration isn't following the judge's orders. So I'm not sure how long of a reprieve this is going to be, a respite, but we'll hope that something can come to conclusion that what they're doing is not just illegal, but it's so inconvenient and it paints such a bad picture of this image that the US had, worked on for the past 50, 60 years of complete freedom, autonomy, and progress while studying at a US higher education system.
But in the sense, the fact that there are 4,000 students whose SEVIS record has now suddenly been wiped out, it's now, 10-year-old petty offenses actually being picked up to ensure that you're being sent back. What's the message here, and how rattled are students right now, Sudhanshu? Because, there are lots and lots of Indian students who are going through there and who are going through this trauma as well.
The message is you're not welcome. Exactly what the message was on the campaign, it's being implemented now. People thought that they wouldn't be touched. People thought that they were legally here. People thought that they had followed all due process to come here, and this is what you get when you elect someone who made these promises on the campaign trail. Now, I am also shocked, even more, I thought I couldn't be, that during the campaign trail, there was a lot of rhetoric about how Donald Trump appreciated F1 talent that would come in, the H-1B, the students who were coming in. He would talk about the elite universities and how they were providing this education. And yet, those are the ones he's been targeting. We looked at the data, Gaurie, and if we didn't look at the 4,000, we had a list of 1,200, which Inside Higher Education has done a beautiful job in placing and sourcing. We looked at the data and we saw that out of the 1,200, about 1/3 are F1 students that are of Indian origin that have been impacted, that have gotten their F1 visa status revoked. About 1/3 of the impact. Now, if you look at those 1/3, people normally would say, oh, they were participating in protests. you're gone to study, not to protest. But like you accurately said, these are things for minor events, and some people don't even know what they did, which is shocking. People have had their F1 student visa revoked for not and haven't been able to understand why they haven't. They didn't partake in any protest. They weren't involved in any scuffle. They had no court priors, and yet, you know, their education has been taken away from them. The loans that they took for that education have been obviously gone to waste, and now they're at this point of what do we do without any
What can
clarification.
students do, Sudhanshu? What can students do? Can they court this particular instance of the reprieve and get some reprieve from themselves, or do you think the Trump administration would revisit some of their orders?
I hope the Trump administration revisits their orders, but it seems like there's not any intent to do so at this point. In terms of the court orders, look, this is one ruling that might actually just be overruled by another judge, right? It's going to work its way up to the court until it goes up to eventually the Supreme Court, which I don't know if it will or not. But maybe it might act as legal precedent, but the situation is so evolving.
Yes.
And the most scariest thing, though, is regardless of if this precedent has been set, the Trump administration is not listening to the courts when it comes to deportation and F1 visas. So you don't know, even if another court says that, hey, you can't do this, what does that even mean? Previously, before January 20th, 2025, you could say, okay, if the law of the land has been placed, they have said that, the administration will have to follow. Not anymore.
Not anymore, indeed. Sudhanshu, always a pleasure to have you decode. Hopefully next time we talk about something brighter when it comes to international students and their future right now during Trump 2.0.